Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dana. I upload a new video at least every single Sunday. Sometimes I add an extra or two in there whenever I can. So now is a great time to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you can stay on top of all of my new videos. Also, I recently wrote an ebook all about the basics of tea. So if you are new to the tea journey, it's meant just for you. It's sort of meant to provide like a good base of knowledge for anyone who is just trying to start, so you can go into tea stores with confidence and feel good about starting your tea journey. So I'll leave that linked in the description box. I always have it linked in every one of my videos. For today, I know it's like a little bit early, but we are gonna start getting into sort of Valentine's Day type teas. This one is from Plum Deluxe and it's called Vanilla Rose Dark Tea Hearts. I want to flip it around and show you because it's like little heart cakes. Like little compressed tea into hearts. Let's get our tea steeping first and foremost. It feels so weird to not have to measure it out. I'm just gonna take one little heart and plop it in the infuser. Fill it up. I'm curious if the heart's gonna stay intact or kind of split apart as it steeps. That'll be really interesting. But let's set this to the side and give it a few minutes to work its magic. So let's start by reading the description and the ingredients. It says, get curious and spark your imagination. The ingredients are dark tea, also known as pour, rose petals, vanilla essence, and that's it. Has caffeine. Steep 1 teaspoon in 8 ounces of boiling water for 3 to 6 minutes. Save the tea for multiple steeps. It has a really strong rosy scent. Like super rosy. It actually smells really good. We're not really going to be able to see all the ingredients because it is all compressed into these little heart tablets. But here's how the little heart looks. Isn't that cute to have it in the shape of a heart? It's common for pour teas to come in like a solid little cake like this, but I've never had it in this kind of context. Usually pour teas have a really dark earthy taste, almost mushroomy, so earthy. But with this, I'm really getting the rose smell and honestly the vanilla smell too. I'm getting the vanilla and the rose more than anything else. I'm really not smelling the earthiness or anything too dark or mushroomy or scary in any way. So I feel like there's not that much to actually look at with the actual tea. So let's go on Plum Deluxe's website and see what it says on there about Vanilla Rose Dark Tea Hearts. So here's how the picture looks. I'd say it pretty much looks the same except for that, I guess it pretty much looks the same because I was gonna say you can see the petals and everything more in the picture, but when I'm looking here in real life, I actually do see those pink rose petals, so I'd say it looks the same. Oh, and then look at this cute little stylized picture they have with the teacup and the rose petals. I've had my eye on this tea for so long. I wanted to get it last year for Valentine's Day, so I'm really excited to finally be trying it. Okay, so here's what it says. There's a lot more. Look at all the information there is on here. There's you can scroll all the way down. So it says dark tea is a Chinese tea similar to pour. Aged and fermented, dark tea has a wonderfully rich and complex flavor and steeps multiple times with varying layers of flavor appearing from each level. We combine dark tea with rose petals and vanilla for an inviting aromatic brew. If you hadn't had much experience with pour before, we believe dark tea is an excellent introduction. So it looks like it is a little different from pour, which is interesting. This particular blend we feel is also excellent to share with friends, plus good foods and good conversation. Our dark tea is pressed into heart shapes before aging. The tea was originally pressed into cakes by tea merchants to help survive long journeys. These heart shapes are just the right size for a cup. Just pop one into your infuser and brew as normal. Each pouch contains approximately 10 hearts. It says, dark tea can produce multiple steeps. You'll find less vanilla rose flavor with multiple steepings, but also other interesting notes. We strongly consider it. I think they mean we strongly encourage you to consider it. I don't know. Caffeine level, it's a 4 out of 4 on Plum Deluxe's caffeine scale, so this is gonna have a good kick of caffeine for me. Suggested uses. Great by itself, though you may consider a dash of honey to highlight the various flavor nuances. Honey and rose together is really nice. Me personally, whenever I drink boba tea, I always get the rose milk tea, and it's so good. So I know I'm gonna like wanna make this into a boba tea. Tea maker notes. So this is Andy. He is the tea maker from Plum Deluxe. There's always a little note from him on the page of each tea. And it says, such a fun tea to enjoy with friends or on date nights. The re-steeps make for great conversation. There are 13 5-star reviews and only 1 3-star review. So it looks like a lot of people really like this tea. I do really like the idea of like drinking it with friends and re-steeping as kind of like fuel for a conversation. I think that's really cool. Like, it would be really awesome to have friends over and just like keep re-steeping your tea and sort of like discussing it. That's probably like the nerdiest thing ever. I don't know if a whole lot of people would like to have that kind of gathering, but to me that sounds like a lot of fun. That sort of sounds like a new meaning to like a tea party, like a tea and conversation party, like a tea discussion party. But it has been probably 5 minutes, so I'd say we're good to remove. Oh, so it did break up. So it's no longer in a heart. All right, so here's our cup of tea. It looks like a black tea. It is a really nice dark color. Ooh, and I smell the vanilla and rose. It smells really nice and floral. So I'll dump this out so you guys can see how it came apart. So now it just looks like regular old tea leaves. So see, it did come apart. So it's just basically like a wad of tea leaves now. So I guess it's not that interesting, but I was super curious if the heart was gonna like, oh, if the heart was gonna break. I was curious if that like heart was gonna break up into the leaves or really what to expect. So that was really interesting. Also, another thing was I wasn't really sure if it was necessary to use an infuser or not, or if you could just plop it into a cup. But I'm glad I used the infuser because it turned out like the same as any tea would be. So I would have ended up with a cup full of leaves. So I'm glad I sort of thought to do that. All right, so we are at the point where it's time to give it a try. I smell that vanilla and rose, but honestly, I'm a little worried that I will taste that earthiness, but it sounds like this is a little different than a typical pour tea, so maybe it won't have that like mushroomy thing going on. One time when I worked at David's Tea, one of my friends brought in tea from a different place that was like the little tiny pour cakes like this, but they were just circles and they were like the traditional pour. They weren't like dark tea. And I think it was just a coincidence, but I tried it and I had a nosebleed after, like, as I was drinking it. And like, I'm sure it had nothing to do with the tea. It was just like a weird coincidence. Also, one time when I was little, I had a nosebleed on a hayride during fall. Like, my family went to like a picnic or something and there was a hayride and I had a nosebleed. So like, I never have nosebleeds, but whenever I go on hayrides, I always am like a little worried. Like, I get a little anxious, like, oh, what if I get a nosebleed like I did on that one hayride when I was a kid. So I'm also like, oh, one time I had pour and I had a nosebleed that day. Like, what if that happens again? So I know that's not gonna happen, but I'm a little nervous about this tea, even though I've wanted to try it for so long. So let's just go ahead and give it a try. Ooh, the main flavor is the vanilla and the rose. I don't taste the earthiness. It honestly tastes like a black tea, but like a little extra astringent, I think. Or not really like that astringent flavor bite, but it does have like a drying feeling. It's really good though. I really like the rose and the vanilla. Because I just love rose tea. It just seems so romantic. And a lot of the time, like with rose teas, I feel like I wish it was sweet. Like I do almost consider adding a sweetener to it because I'm so used to getting like my boba tea with rose, and like that is very sweet and definitely has like some kind of sugar or simple syrup in it. But this, I'm like not really missing the sweetness. Like I like it how it is. Yeah, honestly, if I didn't know that this was like pour, like if I didn't know it was like fermented and aged, I don't think I would realize that. I think I would just think it's a black tea. And it, you know, it doesn't even have like, it's hard to explain. Like, I really like it. Like, I don't always love a black tea, but this is like, it's like a sweet, has like a sweet undertone. Wow, this is really, really good. It's nothing like crazy or groundbreaking, you know, like it's nothing like that unique. It's just a really nice rose tea. I do think it would make an awesome boba tea too. So I think I would try it that way, like to cook up some boba pearls and do it like with some like maybe almond milk and some like, maybe I would add honey if I'm making it something extra special like that. Or even as just like an iced latte, I think this would be awesome. Yeah, I definitely don't get the earthiness I expected. So I guess if you're a fan of pour teas and you like that earthiness, you might not, this might not be what you're looking for. It's very smooth and mild in the earthiness department. Like I don't get any of that. It's really, really good. But if you love rose, this definitely is a good way to go. Like if you're looking for a rose tea, I would say try this. Also, I really like how easy it would be to travel with these because you don't need to bring a spoon with you. You don't need to bring any kind of measurement. So if you're like going on vacation and looking for a tea to bring, I feel like this would be perfect because you don't have to measure it or anything. You literally just plop a heart into your infuser and go. There was a tea I had a couple years ago that David's Tea brought out for Valentine's Day a couple years ago, and it was called White Chocolate Rose, and I liked it, but I really did wish it didn't have like the white chocolate. Like I was kind of wishing that it was just a black tea with rose. And this is like kind of exactly what I was hoping for with that tea. With this tea, I really didn't know what to expect because I really did expect a punch of earthiness. But it totally doesn't have that. It's just really, really nice and floral and beautiful. This would be a really nice tea to drink at like an actual tea party, like not our like tea conversation party I was talking about, but if you were hosting like a bridesmaid tea party or for your bridal shower, because first of all, like it tastes fancy because it's rose and vanilla, and I think like it's just so, it's just fancy. Like roses are just like romantic and fancy. Also the shape of it, like the hearts, is just so cute that I feel like this would just be perfect for something like that, especially because nobody has to like measure it with a spoon. Like everyone can just have a cup and you just pop the hearts. I just think that's so adorable. So this tea is really awesome. I think I would actually buy this again, probably for like next Valentine's Day. You know, like I think this is a really awesome Valentine's Day tea, but it is available all year. So if you like rose teas all year long, you can get it anytime. And I am an ambassador for Plum Deluxe, so every time you guys use my links to buy tea from them, I get a little bit of commission, and then I use it to buy even more tea, and the cycle continues. So I really appreciate when you guys do use my link, which is in the description box. So I hope you are having a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.